Hey guys, Duncan here from Iron Shop. We are very excited to have the number 10 model bracelets from Good Art back in stock. We wanted to take a minute to show them off to you, maybe answer a few questions that you may have, and really see what we're going to have on the table. Starting tomorrow, February 1st, we're going to release our time at, what was it?
It would be 2 our time.
2 a.m. our time or midnight
PST.
Pacific Standard Time. All right, guys, we're gonna break down a couple of the details for you. Right now, we have the double A as well as the single A Model 10s. We have 2 sizes of each one. And if you come in a little closer, we can kind of break down the details. This was one of the first chains Good Art came out with, and since then has become kind of the quintessential chain, or one of the quintessential chains that Good Art has in their lineup. It's currently been 3 years since they've last produced these Model 10s, and this is version 4. There's very small details that kind of differentiate these, and the biggest thing was to stop counterfeits. And now that these Model 4s or version 4s of the Model 10 are out, people are very excited about these. And I wanted to show off kind of the size difference and how we're going to break that down. All right, so I have my personal single A curb chain out. I think this is a staple that most people are familiar with the sizes. This is an 8mm curb chain, and if we come in and see, I'm going to roll up my sleeve here so you can kind of see the profile of that on my arm. Like I said, this is an 8mm. We'll come over here and show this next to the double A. This double A chain is coming in at 13mm. And if we come over here, this single A is coming in at 15. Now the way I'm measuring that is I am taking my calipers and all I'm doing is widest point to widest point of each link, and we get 15 there. And if I bring it back in to 13, we are getting 13 there. Next, I'm going to take off my jacket so I can better show y'all what these look like on the wrist. Alright, so now you can see I've got on my single A curb, and right next to it I have the double A 13mm Model 10. Kind of see the size comparison, it's quite a large size up. Now if I bring over the single A, you can kind of see how that lays on your wrist. It's a bit beefy, but along with the clasp, it is proportional and it doesn't look out of place. All right, breaking down some of the details of this chain, the biggest thing that separates the Model 10 is the clasp it uses. You kind of have this anchor-shaped C-clasp paired with this circular bail, and the way you squeeze those 2 anchor points and that bail fits in, and that is how the chain is secured. We talked about the version 4 earlier. I don't know if the camera will be able to pick this up, but you do have a little V4 in the middle of that anchor. Good Art's branding on one side, as well as Good Art on the other side, and the manufacture date. We head over here, we got more Good Art branding, as well as their rosette. And these do swivel each way for comfort, and so that chain, that bail, the whole clasp lays flat as it's on your wrist, like so. You can see here, and as it moves on your wrist, you're really not getting too much of protrusion as you hit flat spots. And we can see on the second curb right here, you do have some more branding. So going into more of the sizing, I have a 17.5mm wrist. The way you take that, you get a soft tape, wrap it around your wrist, and you want it snug but not tight. And when I measure mine, I'm a little over 17 or right about 7 inches all the way around. A good rule of thumb with jewelry is you want the chain loose enough to actually move on your wrist. You don't want it too tight or else it will be uncomfortable. Generally, what jewelers will say is you want to be able to stick your finger up to the first knuckle underneath the chain, and that is the amount of slack that you want for it to move around comfortably. But as you can see, there's no chance of that falling off. We will have the measurements of each chain listed on the site. We have GoodArt's, the chart that GoodArt uses will compare the links, the number of links per bracelet of these Model 10s, and that is paired next to the size of your wrist in millimeters. It is not like the curb chain, where the curb chains are measured in centimeters and millimeters. Whereas this is a size 17, but when you actually measure it, and this is where a lot of the confusion comes from, the size 17 millimeter refers to the size of your wrist, not to the overall length of the bracelet itself. The slack is already added in. You do not need to add any more millimeters to your wrist size. That is already accounted for. You are strictly taking the size of your wrist. It is the same for these Model 10s. However, the sizing is labeled a little bit differently. These go by link sizes. So whereas I'm wearing the 17 link in the Model 10, it measures roughly the same as the 15 link of the larger Model A. We'll bring that back over. So we'll have the 15 link, and we also have the 17 link, which you can see, and then all that is doing is counting the number of links in each bracelet. And we'll bring that over. We have the 17 and the 18 and the double A, and you can see how these measure up there. The large one is a little bit larger, but you can get away with a little more link because of how much more bulky this one is. We will have the measurements listed on the site, as well as GoodArt's wrist measurement charts. And then next, let's talk about some finishing details. All right, so some final closing remarks. I wanted to briefly discuss the way that these will be measured on the site, as well as the width, the length in millimeters, and according to wrist size. I'm also going to have the exact measurement of each bracelet. This isn't something you should really have to worry about, but I did want to show you how I was measuring so there is no confusion. So we're going to take this ruler and we're going to line it up. This was the 17 link double A, and I am measuring from the middle of that center clasp to the middle of this bail, and you can see this is right at 8 inches. That's something that you really don't need to pay too much attention to, but it's just one more form of clarification. Lastly, every bracelet will ship with a bill of authenticity from GoodArt Hollywood, signed and dated, as well as its special leather carrying case. These will be ready on our site, dropping tonight, correct? Tonight at midnight? Or tonight at 2 a.m.? Technically 2 a.m. So 2 a.m. tomorrow, February 1st. We will all have these listed and they will be ready to go. It's very exciting to finally see these Model 10s back in a new version. Like I said, it doesn't get more GoodArt Hollywood than the Model 10. We're expecting these to go pretty fast, so check them out on our website. We'll be posting more on our Instagram. I hope you found this video informative, and we'll come at you next time with the next more exciting thing coming through Iron Shop Provision.